you feel something brush your leg in the water, soft as a plastic bag, and within seconds your whole body is on fire? The box jellyfish carries enough venom to kill an adult human in under 5 minutes. That makes it one of the most venomous animals on Earth. Most people picture jellyfish as slow, harmless drifters. The box jellyfish isn't one of them. Unlike most jellyfish, it can actively swim, propelling itself through the water at speeds up to 4 knots. Dr. Jamie Seymour, a marine biologist who has spent decades studying box jellyfish in northern Australia, has handled more live specimens than almost anyone alive. His research revealed something most swimmers never expect. The venom isn't the strangest part. The delivery system is. Each tentacle is covered in millions of microscopic stinging cells called nematocysts. On contact, they fire tiny venom-loaded harpoons into the skin faster than a speeding bullet leaves a gun barrel. Which means the sting isn't really a sting, it's thousands of simultaneous injections happening in a fraction of a second. So why does something this small kill so quickly? The venom targets the heart directly. It can cause what doctors call cardiovascular collapse, the heart's rhythm breaking down almost immediately after contact. Which means the sting itself isn't usually the final cause of death, it's the shock that follows. Some victims have reportedly gone into cardiac arrest before even reaching the shore. That single fact reframes the entire danger. This isn't about pain tolerance.
It's about how fast your heart can fail. Now think about where and when these creatures actually appear. Box jellyfish are most common in northern Australian waters during the warmer months, typically October through May. Local authorities call this stretch stinger season for a reason. Beaches in affected regions often close entirely, with warning flags posted along the shore, which means the danger isn't random. It follows a predictable seasonal pattern that experienced swimmers learn to respect. Here's where the story gets stranger. Despite the danger, Indigenous Australian communities have lived alongside these waters for tens of thousands of years. Traditional ecological knowledge often included avoiding the water entirely during known stinger periods, which means long before modern marine biology, communities were already reading the same seasonal warning signs science would later confirm. So what actually happens in the moments after a sting?
First responders in affected regions carry vinegar for a specific reason. Vinegar doesn't relieve pain. It deactivates the remaining unfired nematocysts still stuck to the skin. Which means the wrong first response, like rinsing with fresh water, can trigger thousands more stings that haven't fired yet. Fresh water changes the pressure balance around the stinging cells, causing them to discharge. That single detail turns a common instinct into one of the most dangerous mistakes a bystander can make. Here's the part almost nobody expects. Since the 1960s, Australian hospitals have used an antivenom developed specifically for box jellyfish stings. It's produced using antibodies raised in sheep exposed to small, controlled amounts of the venom, which means the same substance capable of stopping a human heart is also the key ingredient in the treatment that saves lives. Researchers studying the sting pattern found something equally strange. Survivors sometimes describe intense pain that outlasts the visible injury by hours or even days. The tentacle contact can leave marks resembling a whip-like burn, some visible for weeks afterward.
Which means the physical evidence of a sting can remain long after the danger to the heart has passed. So could you actually survive a box jellyfish sting? The odds depend heavily on 3 things: how much venom made contact, how quickly vinegar is applied, and how fast emergency care arrives. A soft brush in the water, a wave of pain,
a body racing against its own cardiovascular system. That sequence isn't random, it's biology, unfolding in an order predictable enough that survival often comes down to preparation rather than luck. Box jellyfish have existed in some form for hundreds of millions of years, drifting through oceans long before humans ever waded into the shallows. And maybe that's the real reframe. We think of the ocean as something we enter on our own terms, a place we choose to visit. But some of its oldest residents have never needed to chase anyone. They simply wait in the same warm, familiar water we assume is safe.
The only real defense against something built by hundreds of millions of years of evolution is 15 minutes of knowledge learned before you ever step into the water.